Barda and Scott return home in Mr. Miracle Issue 2. Following Orion's orders, Scott fights a group of parademons that have invaded their lands. Finishing the parademons off, Scott is told to take his armies elsewhere and not report back until he is victorious. One after another, Scott goes from battlefield to battlefield, following Orion's orders to the letter. Once back with Barda, Scott faces his greatest enemy, a New Genesis shower. In the present, Scott and Barda are brought before Orion. Scott isn't too pleased to see the High Father and is forced to follow the reinstated old customs of New Genesis, much to his behest. After thanking them for coming, Orion says that Darkseid's forces are winning their never-ending war, which lately has resulted in more losses Orion is comfortable with, all thanks to Granny Goodness. Reinstating Scott and Barda as generals, he returns them their armies, and Orion wants them to find and kill Granny Goodness. Later that night, Scott is visited by Metron, who warns him and Barda that they cannot know the face of God. Both Barda and Scott ignore the crazy god, insisting that it was just a dream, and they fall back to sleep. The next day, Barda and Scott head for Granny, who welcomes them with open arms, inviting them into her tent for Jello. In the tent, the three talk peace negotiations, although Granny knows that Darkseid wants nothing less than Orion's head and New Genesis's surrender. Later on, the two heroes sneak away from their quarters, silently killing their way towards Granny's tent, where Granny opens fire on Barda, knocking her down and leaving Scott to follow Granny into the darkness. Granny hurriedly asks Scott if Metron visited him, but Scott thought that was just a dream. Granny says that Orion contacted her, saying Scott and Barda might try and betray and kill Granny at their peace talks. Granny then reveals that she has actually been working with the real High Father, and that Scott was actually meant to take over the throne once he died, not Orion. Talk then turns to a prophecy that only Darkseid's son can kill him, and that Orion isn't actually Darkseid's son, and that Scott might be. Before she can finish her story, Barda awakens and kills Granny with her club. Leaving the bloodied remains behind, Scott and Barda boom-chewed back to New Genesis with the news. Mr. Miracle Issue 2 dropped the first issue's non-linear storytelling and went with a much more linear and quite straightforward plot that has some huge revelations embedded in it. The big one being that Scott may well be the son of Darkseid and the rightful ruler of New Genesis. While I really enjoyed the first issue and its look into depression, the return to a more cohesive storyline is really welcoming and doesn't feel out of place when put up next to the first issue at all. I'm really looking forward to Scott's journey for answers over the course of this book. I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10. Hey everyone, thanks for watching my newest video. If you enjoyed it, you might also like to check out my other reviews here on my channel. You can also follow me on various social media platforms like Twitter by searching Matt_FOS, or even join the Comic Multiverse Discord server and chat with other comic book fans, including myself and Joel from Cape Joel. Want cheap comics and trades? Head over to the book depository with the link in the description to get the cheapest trades and comics around, along with free shipping anywhere in the world. Until next time, this has been Matt of the Fortress of Solitude. Thank you so much for watching.